Story written by Janet Rodriguez. Title of the story is The Value and Potential of a Tiny Seed. Once upon a time in a faraway country where the soil is rich and abundant, there lived a gardener. His name was Kabil, named from Mayan origin, meaning one that has a good hand for planting, or like they say in North America, he had the green thumb. He had the most beautiful garden that you can imagine. Every day he woke up early and worked all day tending his garden. He was feeling very happy and satisfied to see the great beauty of this magnificent garden. The years went by and Kabil became old and sick. But he loved his garden so very much that although he was sick, he made great effort to care for his garden. One day, as he was watering some plants, he reached inside his pockets looking for a handkerchief to wipe off his sweat. He couldn't find it. Instead, he found a tiny seed. He took it out, inspected it, and exclaimed with great joy, "There you are! I have been looking for you. You are my special seed, my sacred seed, and your fruit will be for the health of my children. Your name will be Miracle." And he planted little Miracle. Oh, what a great excitement he had with his miracle seed. For this man's passion was to see things grow. Unfortunately, one day he got sick with a fever. His family brought him a doctor, and after examining him, he gave them the sad news that Kabil did not have much time left to live. Kabil had lived long. He was thankful for the life he lived on this earth. The only worry he had was that he needed someone to look after his garden, but especially the seed that he recently planted. That seed is of great value. That seed cannot die, he said. There was Kabil on his bed, giving his last words of instruction on how to care for his precious miracle seed. He was surrounded by all his sons and daughters. Many children he had, some older and some younger. Kabil died in peace. Somehow he knew deep in his heart that his seed would live. After his funeral, all of his children busied themselves with their own lives. They were too busy to care for Kabil's garden. The sorrow of losing their father made them lose focus on the more important things of life. If you know something about gardens, then you'll know that in a matter of days, the undergrowth can quickly invade the ground if it isn't stopped. The once vibrant garden had fallen into a neglected state, with wilted flowers and overgrown shrubs. What a challenge for the little seed Miracle. How is it supposed to grow with so much competition? There it was, surrounded with an oppressive atmosphere, a haunting and melancholic place, abandoned, forgotten, and unloved. At least that's how it felt. But a seed is a miracle of nature. So with all her strength, she pushed up, breaking that soil, and she made it alive, breathing, feeling, absorbing the energy of life, and observing the environment. Little Miracle was now a new plant that needed the necessary nutrients, plenty of sunlight, water, soil, and space. But she wasn't reaching to her full potential. Some evil weeds were releasing something called allelopathy. chemicals, toxins, poison. And to make things worse, a plague had infected her. She had a lot of obstacles to overcome. The plague had stuck on her roots a fungi that kills plants. Sometimes little Miracle heard the voices from the weeds, and that was making her feel weak and doubtful about her own existence. The weeds, throwing their toxicity, said things like this: "You little weak plant, you came to the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong environments. You should go someplace else, perhaps to another garden or another world, because over here, nobody cares for you. If you leave, nobody will miss you." The weeds boasting. We succeed because we are aggressive. We like to compete, and we don't need care or tending. This garden is tough and wild, and you are so fragile. Little Miracle has a visitor, Mr. Firefly. One night, when the world was asleep, the stars were shining and the moon was full and bright. Little Miracle couldn't sleep, worried, thinking, with only 2 leaves and a little strength left in her. She kept asking herself, could it be true? What if the weeds are right? What if it was a mistake of nature to put me here? What if I came to the wrong place at the wrong time? Why? Then she saw herself and said, there is no point of being planted here. I am not even giving any fruit, and this fungi keeps attacking my roots. I wish to know the meaning or purpose to all of this. In the middle of her thought and questions, she hadn't noticed that right there next to her was a beetle, the kind that carries light, Mr. Firefly. By the way, fireflies are beetles, not flies. The beetle introduced himself with a very respectful manner. "Hello, Miss Plant," he said. "I was passing by and couldn't help hearing you. I am sorry if I have disrupted your privacy. Maybe it's better if I keep going." And he started to go. Little Miracle quickly said, "Please stay. It's a beautiful night, and I don't get to see many interesting creatures. And you are very kind and carry light." Mr. Firefly said, "You are right. It is a beautiful night. And that is why I am not sleeping." "What about you, Miss Plant? Why couldn't you sleep?" Little Miracle said, "Oh, Mr. Firefly, I am so glad you are here." She went on and on and on, telling him about everything that was causing her to be worried and with no hope or strength. She told him about the weeds and their toxic comments, about their competition, about not having enough nutrients, about the fungi that was on her roots and was making her all weak. And at the end she said, "There is no point. There is no reason for me to be here. Nobody cares for me." Mr. Firefly said, "I care. That is why I am here." He lifted one of his wings, came closer to her and said, Put one of your leaves under my wing. This will make you feel better. Then he said, I know why those ugly evil weeds and fungi are trying to destroy you. Because you are different than they are. Your energy is healthy and uplifting. You will give fruit, and it will be plenty. But those weeds will never, ever produce any good fruits. They are lying to you. They keep telling you this to keep you low so they can go high. Mr. Firefly said, I do understand you are tired. You have shown a lot of perseverance. You didn't get the tending or care, enough sunlight, water, or space. It has been difficult for you, constantly struggling to survive. And if Kabil was here, he would be so happy and proud of you. And I know for sure that is no mistake for you to be here. For by being here is how you will prove of what you are capable of. Have confidence, my friend. It takes time, yes. It takes a lot of patience, yes. It takes a lot of perseverance, yes. Growing and expanding does hurt. Trust me. Believe me. You were planted here at the right time, at the right place, with the right environments. You were put here to expand deeper, and acceptance, trust, confidence, and gratitude are your best companions for your self-discovery. Little Miracle said, how do you know all of this? And how will you understand something you haven't experienced yourself? Have you experienced pain? Mr. Firefly said, yes, I have experienced pain while going through metamorphosis. Each stage was long and painful. I also have a lot of competition just like you, with so many predators, birds, bats, and spiders. Little Miracle said, my life is constant emotional pain for the lack of insight of the meaning of my existence. Mr. Firefly said, that is why I am here. And though I cannot take your pain away, because it's part of your transformation that you will later understand, you can always count on me. I am never far from you. And he continued to say, always remember the words of Kabil. You are my sacred plant. Your name is Miracle, which means that it comes from the divine, and your fruit will be for the health of my children. You are my seed of great value, and we will see your fruit, my friend. We will see it, believe me. Little Miracle said, I am infinitely thankful for your company, your advice, your help. Your words have turned on a spark of radiant light deep in my roots, giving me insight about the value of my existence. And she vigorously shook her roots and said, get off me, you filthy fungi. Immediately, there was a current flowing all the way from her roots, stem, and leaves. And Little Miracle said, I am feeling an incredible, wonderful, and vibrant energy. This was the Great Spirit, like a divine spark running inside me. Its energy, the Great Spirit, and it said. He whispered the most beautiful epiphany that you can hear. I am in you, and you are in me. Your breath is my breath. You and me are one. You are loved. You are loved. You are loved. You are capable of thriving in any environment, and your strength and adaptability will carry you through even the most uncertain times. Be gentle with yourself and nurture your inner spark, knowing that it will guide you toward your dreams. Remember, your unique talents and abilities are ready to blossom. Little Miracle exclaimed, "There is a great joy in me. I can't explain with words. And look, I'm growing more leaves. My leaves are stronger and healthier." By this time, she already had 7 leaves. Oh, Little Miracle was so happy. She could hardly contain her excitement. Some tears of joy started rolling down her leaves, and as soon as the tear fell on each leaf, it left a word on it. Oh, it was amazing to see this. As soon as the liquid from the tears touched the leaves, it would immediately start forming letters and forming words. It was incredible. And these were the words: love, truth, life, peace, light, happiness, confidence. 7 leaves she had grown so far, and 7 words were written on her leaves. But wait a minute, said Little Miracle. I'm growing more leaves. By this time, she already had 14. And these were the words: generosity, forgiveness, build, strength, healthy, kind, beautiful. At this moment, the energy or the Great Spirit spoke. I am the fountain of life, and I am in everything. Little Miracle asked, if you are in everything, then everything comes from you? Energy said, everything, all things that you can and cannot see come from me. Everyone and everything has a purpose. After thinking for a very long time, Little Miracle said, the weeds and fungi that cause so much harm and have killed many of your plants also come from you? Those that have caused so much hurt and suffering also have a purpose? The Great Spirit said, I love it when my children search for answers. I love it when they search for my hidden treasures. In this garden, I have a variety of vegetation. I have planted all kinds of seeds, and their purpose is different for each of them. But there is one thing that makes them similar. I have placed them here so they themselves discover, explore, expand in every aspect to learn and to experience light and darkness. Little Miracle exclaimed, look, I'm growing more leaves. This time the leaves were not green, they were gray. And they were with words again, but not the pretty words. This time she was getting opposite words to the ones she already had. 7 more leaves with these words: death, hate, war, sadness, selfish, lie, hurting. She couldn't believe it. Another 7 leaves were growing with these words: mean, ugly, sick, fear, darkness, destroy, doubt. 28 leaves. Little Miracle said, Why am I getting negative words on my leaves? Energy said. I was just giving you an example of the few components that I have placed in each of my plants. Children, strengths, fruits, flowers, honey, weaknesses or wickedness, toxins, poisons. For every positive word that you can think of is accompanied by its opposite. They look like they are separate, but they go together. They just are the end of the other, like chaos and order or death and life. Little Miracle said, "It looks like you are not going to answer my question." Energy said, "They say curiosity killed the cat." And he giggled. Energy said, "You want to know what is the purpose of the fungi or evil, poisonous, and toxic? Well, here it is then. The purpose of evil is to test you and challenge you." Little Miracle said, "In which moment did it happen that I allowed such ugly fungi grow and get attached to my roots, to the point of making me believe that life was not worth living?" Energy said, "Limits, my child. One has to set limits. My garden is filled with so many plants that haven't learned the importance of setting limits and saying stop. Instead, they continue to feed with the negativity, wickedness. Those negative words that are written on your leaves are the ones that feed the fungi. When you only focus on them, it creates unbalance." Little Miracle said, "Am I supposed to cut those gray leaves from me to stop the fungi from growing?" Energy said, "You don't necessarily need to cut your gray leaves just because they have negative words on them. If you cut them, it would cause unbalance. Seek wisdom. It will help you to find a neutral point." And he said, "Focus on the good words that I have also written on your leaves. Feed on them. Search for them. They are very powerful. They have the power to create. Try it, and you will see how that evil fungi becomes smaller, smaller, and smaller until it disappears." And I hope my children learn this lesson. Feeding on the negative words only strengthens evil to continue to grow and cause harm to self or others. Little Miracle said, "I understand now. I myself was making that ugly evil fungi get stronger, feeding it when I was focusing on all the negative in this world, the neglect, the injustice, the abandonment, the sadness, the wickedness, and hurt. From now on, I will focus on love. It will always lead me and keep me on my neutral point." Energy said, "It looks like you're going on the right path to self-discovery. It's all within yourself. All the answers you have been searching for are in you. I am in you, and you are in me." And he whispered, "And you are loved." Energy, the Great Spirit, was humming with harmony and satisfaction, humming a song he was. Oh, how beautiful they are! They are support and guide. the wonderful words of life. Little Miracle said with confidence, "Although I am surrounded by overgrown weeds in a garden that is neglected, I am a plant that is alive, with a strong trunk, with steady and healthy roots. My leaves with written words of life and death remind me of who I am and my divine heritage. I found my balance with death. I know it is at the other end, but for now, life is here, and I embrace it and celebrate it. I am a plant that breathes, absorbs, and observes. I will grow to my full potential and will give plenty of fruit." When the weeds heard this, they were left speechless. By this time, she had already grown about 3 feet tall. It had happened while she was talking. It was amazing. She had turned into the most beautiful plant you can imagine. Her appearance was a compact, upright plant with a rounded crown. Had a lush, full appearance with leaves that are evenly spaced and angled, arranged in a circular pattern, leaves long, wide, and pointy. Some deep green, vibrant color, others gray color. It was amazing to see the transformation of her trunk. It was multiplying several stems that were clustered together, giving the appearance of a single trunk. The stems did appear to be embracing or hugging each other, creating a sense of unity and harmony. This unique growth pattern added to the plant's charm and character, making it even more visually appealing. Little Miracle said, "I have everything that I need. I have my voice and my spirit. It is all written on my leaves, my strength and also my weaknesses. Weaknesses that teach me empathy and compassion for others who may be struggling. It's the unique imperfections that make something truly special." As soon as she finished talking, like magic, flowers were emerging from the nodes where the leaves met the stems. Clusters of delicate and elegant white flowers were generously being distributed on her in proportion to her size. Immediately, the whole garden was filled with the most captivating fragrance, similar to the aroma of gardenia, a sweet, creamy, and intensely floral scent that was being carried away by the winds to spread it, to share it with those that were near and those that were far. The whole place was saturated. Everything and everyone felt the peace and love that was emanating from this unique plant. Her flowers distilled the most exquisite nectars. No one knows where time had gone, but the rising of the sun was bringing the most amazing colors, dancing and swirling, merging and blending with soft pinks, vibrant oranges, and golden yellows, all igniting the dawn with breathtaking beauty. It was at this moment of a glorious morning that Kabil's sons and daughters had waken up, and noticing the scent that was coming from the garden, they all wanted to know what it was. At that moment, they remembered of the words that Kabil had told them before dying. That seed is of great value. They were running towards the garden to see what had happened to the little seed. When they got there and saw the miracle plant right there, standing alive, They felt shame to have forgotten their father's request. They said, when our father died, we only focused on the sorrow and pain so deep and for so long that we forgot to focus on making the memory of our father more significant by nurturing, tending, and caring for those things that he loved, his garden, his seed. They looked at little Miracle, and one of them exclaimed, could that be the seed that our father planted? How is it possible that it is alive when no one watered it? How did it survive with so much weeds? They all said in unison, it must be a miracle. How is it possible that we have been so negligent? It is time to make things right, they said. At once they brought rakes, pruning shears, hoses, and every other tool that was needed for the maintenance of the garden. For the entire day, they dedicated themselves with great love, removing weeds, pruning overgrown plants, clearing pathways, and replenishing soil to restore the garden's health and beauty. Little Miracle said, at some point we all lose focus sometimes, but life often gives us second chances. Energy, the Great Spirit, said, very well said, little Miracle, very well said. And that is why I give to my children a new day to reflect that whenever they did something wrong, there is always a new day to make it better. Immediately after he finished talking, like magic, the garden had added more life to it. Kabil's sons did a fantastic job tending the garden that even they brought chairs and drinks. Some sat and some danced and celebrated, while honoring the memory of their father by fulfilling his special request about the sacred seed. Never again, they said, never again will we neglect our father's garden. By this time, birds of all kinds, squirrels, bunnies, fireflies, and butterflies of many colors had traveled from faraway places only to have a little taste of the wonderful nectar that little Miracle was producing. She had so many leaves and flowers that it was hard to count them all. Then the energy spoke. Today is a glorious day because today my garden is flourishing, and I rejoice when my children prosper and reach wisdom. The end.